Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to What is up?
Hey.
There's some strange noise. Lacey thought something was happening in the house, so she's checking that out.
I thought Lacey maybe had to exit early.
It sounds like some water. She got a towel. She's getting a towel. So I don't know what's going on. Something's leaking, she said.
That's what we did that yesterday. So new water heater.
Oh, well, good morning. Good morning, David Meltzer. Welcome, everybody, to Get Book Solid. Super pumped to have you here. Interesting, because we kind of kicked off back in the green room talking a little bit about a topic that I thought would be perfect for anybody who's trying to get book solid. I woke up this morning thinking about how marketing does not get you new clients. Marketing, what it does is it creates awareness. And you've done a great job with your social media, podcasts, etc., leveraging all of the stages possible to create awareness about who you are and what you have to offer the world. You teach a concept, a 4-part sales process. And the first part is stimulating interest, which is part of awareness. And I thought we could talk about, in a highly competitive world. I mean, you just look at social media, but you look at traditional media, you look anywhere, there's huge competition for interest. And I thought that maybe today we could help people to sort of dissect what they are and their comfort level and the tools that are available in order to actually go out and stimulate interest for them and the services, the gifts that they have to the world.
Yeah, it's a really interesting topic that has evolved in the intricacies of what that means. In the old days, when I learned through solution selling and some of the greatest salespeople in the world, like the Dennis Waitley's and Zig Ziglar's and Michael Bosworth's, they talked about stimulating interest as a qualifier, that you would stimulate interest pertaining to a person that specifically hit your demographic. And the reason that that was a necessity is that the total addressable community was so small, and that you had to seek the interest. And so today, the nuances of stimulating interest fall within the context of one thing, in my opinion, and it's stimulating enough interest to get someone to get back to you in person, on the phone, via email, traditional media, and social media, in varying levels of attention. To have awareness, or people viewing you, would be one of the criteria. Following you would be another. Commenting or conversing with you would be another, which falls within the context of getting back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you do need all three in order to effectuate the greatest amount of people that get back to you. But you also have to be very specific on what to do with the people that get back to you. What do we do with the haters that get back to us? What do we do with the people that only want free that get back to us? What do we get to the people that want us but can't afford us and are willing to pay less than we need in order to effectuate what they need? And then finally, those people that are actually qualified, like in the old days, that we would pre-qualify utilizing a certain demographic of whatever it is that we're trying to share in a quantitative vision. So for me, I specifically am strategically looking to get people to get back to me by having more views, by having more likes, more comments in conversations.
Let's talk then about the common thing that I run into is, okay, that's great, but let's say that I said to somebody, look at David Meltzer's, all of his social channels. Look at all the content that they're putting out. I get a lot of people who are like, yeah, but I'm not that interesting. And even, you use this term, this phrase, be more interested than interesting. But in a world where we're trying to stimulate interest, in a world where we are trying to get someone to call us back, it's difficult for me just to go on social media and say, hey guys, I'm really interested in what you guys have going on in your world. It's a delicate dance because people get hung up on stimulating interest if they feel that they're not that interesting. They have a thing that they do, and even though, like, maybe I'm a heart surgeon and I save lives doing heart surgery, I've literally met people that do big time things like that, but then who say, but that's not that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because it's what they do every day. You take Austin Eckler, probably doesn't find football all that interesting. But if he were to tell somebody about it who's not in the game, everything about it's interesting. The locker room's interesting, practice is interesting. What do you say to people who get stuck because they judge themselves as not being that interesting?
Yeah, it's a great point. So looking at our essence is really a better way to see how interesting we are. And so my suggestion would be to be interested in yourself. You see, when we're interested in ourselves, others are interested. We love ourselves, other loves us. When we're giving to ourselves, we're giving to it is in the context of what I teach and the quantum nature of what the Tao and the 81 verses of the Tao express so explicitly. And so I would suggest and encourage people to be interested in themselves. And when we start to take interest in our own skills, our own knowledge of who and what, and our desires, we can see now that we're interested in ourselves, that other people would absolutely be interested in who we are. And, we see that today in reality TV with like the Duck Dynasty. I'm sure, and that was manufactured interest, but
Sure.
I'm sure people like in the Bayou, if you told them that millions and millions of people would love to watch a reality show about, these guys with, overalls hunting ducks, but they are. And everyone has an audience that is aligned frequency wise and finds what you are interested in interesting to themselves.
But I think it's also an interesting topic. I don't see how many words or how many times we can say this word today, but because we are just talking about stimulating interest. We're not talking about creating sales, right? And conversions, which are two very different things. And I think that's where people get hung up so much is they're going into social media, the visibility of themselves with the idea that what they are trying to achieve is the end game, is the sale. And that, I think, is what causes a lot of people to overthink the content that they're putting out, how they're showing up. Does it need to be polished and professional? Because it's always with the idea of, I want to get that sale from that individual. Instead of, I'm just trying to generate and stimulate interest of people that may not be able to buy what I have, but would love to someday, may not be a good fit, may just want things for free. Like all of those types of individuals that you listed earlier. If you were going out there and saying, that's what I'm trying to do is stimulate interest from as many people as possible in different, situations in their life. Some can buy, some cannot. It might be like lighter and more fun versus always thinking, how do I create something that sells, right? That's mostly where people get hung up.
Yeah, for the sake of what we're doing, something has to be aligned with the realistic or the economic or the numbers that we're looking for. So, the idea of stimulating interest, getting people to get back to us is a simple one. The more people that we get to get back to us, statistically, we will have more sales because there's more opportunities and we get more practice in converting those opportunities. But furthermore, for the sake of what I'm doing, if I'm stimulating interest for the sake of sales, then my numbers and expectations should be lowered. If I'm seeking someone to be stimulated interest for the sake of awareness or views or comments or likes or conversations, that is a whole nother area where I now can take a different approach that builds value of what an understanding is of what they like, don't like, works, doesn't work, knows or doesn't know, which statistically creates a greater conversion or a greater amount of sales. so many people attach also their emotions to the outcome, especially in social media, which is why they quit. And we've talked ad nauseum about how people and why people quit, because they ask or they say to themselves, I'll be happy when I get all these sales from spending $50,000 a month on social marketing, instead of I'm going to spend $50,000 in social marketing for the sake of this many views, likes, conversations, to provide value and share a vision of value and practice articulating that value to exceed what I'm asking for.
One of the things I think you'll love, I always tell you, I wish that, I hope that one day when they ask you, Dave, who you would want to have a meal with, that I'll convince you to say BJ Palmer.
Yes,
I was
almost there because I haven't got the
getting
PDF.
closer.
I haven't got the PDF. I asked Dr. Rewire. I've asked Shawn for the PDF. At least I can read something about.
Oh,
Oh, we
haven't
have
asked
it.
me. I will send it to you. I'll send it to you right
I've
now.
asked you. What do you have? Amnesia?
I have all of them.
Yes,
Yes,
I
he
need
has
them.
amnesia.
Yeah. I'm being honored by you and your esteemed colleagues as an honorary.
Well, we get to see you
That's
next
right.
week. That's
Exactly,
right.
with Julie, and I want to be able to have read what somehow has been channeled through me for a decade.
I'm going to get you the textbook. On in the old Palmer School of Chiropractic, BJ was known for these epigrams. He had tons of epigrams all over the place. The epigram in the men's bathroom, right above the urinal, so right in front of you.
Stop. Here's the 12-year-old in David Meltzer. So you're telling me this man's name is BJ Palmer, and now he has text in the bathroom above the urinal. Okay.
Yes.
I couldn't help myself. I'm just elevating awareness to my 12-year-old self.
And the epigram above the urinal in the bathroom said, "Don't take yourself so damn seriously."
No way.
Yes.
You would love his epigrams, actually. But yes.
Well, because I channeled him. I've either been reincarnated as BJ, or I have channeled everything of his for some odd connectivity in the quantum.
Yeah.
Because people tell me all the time, like, do you study Palmer? And I have no idea, but I'm going
I haven't
to.
even read it.
We're going to get you studying it too. But my point of that, don't take yourself so damn seriously while you're standing there at the urinal. A lot of people take themselves so damn seriously on social media, right? And that is one of the things that stops us. And listen, not just social media. I think just in marketing. Why don't you have a blog? Oh, because I don't know how to write. How come you don't start a podcast? Because I might stammer or say like it's everything about how serious we take ourselves. However, there's a faction of people that I notice on social media that take themselves lightly. They can make fun of themselves. It's okay. And they seem to stimulate interest. I would love to get your thoughts on why we find people who don't take themselves so damn seriously interesting.
Because vulnerability is interesting. And when we don't take ourselves so seriously, we're being vulnerable. We're telling people the ultimate, in which I teach, that all human beings in the human experience are ignorant. They don't know what they don't know. And so when we somehow portray ourselves as having an expertise in a subject matter or a topic like chiropractic medicine or some other mindset, heart set, or handset facilitation, making things easy for people, but taking them and lowering the bar by being vulnerable enough to say, I don't know what I don't know. In other words, I'm not taking myself so seriously. So check out what I'm talking about and don't take it as well, or me, so seriously. This is about doing our best, learning lessons, and having fun. And if you take yourself too serious, which is, I told you about the fire walk that I went on in teaching my 15-year-old son, as he wrote on a board, the breakthrough that he wants is to not have negative thoughts that make him feel unworthy, and to let that go, and to teach him in a quantum level to let everything tension-wise go that's connected to him as well. So the board that was stiff, every time he forced it, the board got stiffer and he couldn't break through. And I finally got him to be in a state of flow, and he went ahead and let gravity take his arm down exactly with that much power, and it broke right through the board. It may have been one of the greatest lessons that he caught from me that I could never teach him. And when he caught that lesson, I thought to myself, see, you don't have to take yourself so seriously. When you're on the golf course, when you're in the classroom, when you're with your friends, it's okay to be vulnerable enough to say, I don't know what I don't know, but let's do our best together. Let's learn lessons together. And most importantly, let's have some fun.
Mm. Isn't that an interesting, I mean, it really is an interesting concept. Forced energy takes energy, so you can't expend as much energy to get the thing done, right? Like that's why being in a state of flow is so powerful, because it's not forced. People think that all the time. Well, I have to do all of these things, and they're forcing the energy, which takes so much energy from them in the first place. You can't actually put out as much as necessary to break the board, right? What a great lesson for him. How neat.
I just want to wrap up. I know that you're on the road doing lots of cool things, but I haven't been able to talk to you since two things that I find very interesting in our lives, crisscrossing. Number one, Rory wins the Masters. What was your thought on that?
You know, what a great thing for golf itself. But I think it shows you how people are successful. It's been a long time since he won a major. He had his ups and downs. And during this microcosm event of 4 days, people thought for sure he was going to win and for sure he was going to lose. These are what other people thought. And I thought it was interesting on how prepared he was to not allow what other people think in order to impact his performance.
Right.
What rang true with me in that performance was he was doing his best, learning lessons and having fun in a hyper compressed pressure situation. And it wasn't as if he wasn't good enough over the other years to do it, but he finally had his breakthrough, just like Miles, to let it go. But when he choked the shot, he went on to the next hole and he did better.
Yeah.
He made the putts when he had to, and he won eventually as he should have, instead of getting in his own way, as Lacey suggests. One of the most interesting things that Roy is going to find now that he had this breakthrough, and it took me many, many, many years to figure this out. I went from figuring out how far I was into my own way to being in the flow so much of the time that my primary focus now, through the transition of that transcendence of my meditation, is to regulate the amount of energy into the human experience. So I know you guys have to go, and you were gracious enough to allow me to be here. And I definitely want to talk to you guys, get caught up. I want to read some Palmer before I get my honorary doctorate, which you played such a great role in, both of you, to nominate me and to support me. What a life honor an honorary doctorate is. And I want to honor you by doing my best, learning lessons and having fun at the ceremony in May. We will be in Denver this week. I got 2 speeches on Wednesday. Thursday, we'll go to Chicago for Friday, then Rhode Island. We're doing meetups, holding court speeches. No masterminds this week, but we'd love to have see everybody this week in those cities. Love you guys.
Love you. Excited to see you next week.
Yeah, so coming up next week, we'll be in Spartanburg with David Meltzer. Make sure that you connect with us there. I'll be speaking at Spartanburg. David will be giving his reception speech, his when he receives his degree.
Acceptance.
It's acceptance speech. It
will
be awesome.
Receive this with great honor.
We're also coming to SoFi Stadium May 14th for a mastermind VIP experience. Get plugged in. Hit up David at dmeltzer.com, Shawn at adaptopreneur.com. All kinds of cool stuff going on in the ecosystem of the Dills and the Meltzers. Make sure you get plugged in.
Best friends ever will be.
We're the 3 best friends that anyone could have.
Let's do it again next Tuesday, everyone. Put us in your calendar next Tuesday. Get Book Solid. Jump on all of your favorite social medias and catch the show. We hope you learned something new so that you can reach more people, make an even bigger impact, and of course, create the lifestyle of your dreams, no matter what that may mean. All right, everybody, until next week, see ya. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to